guys, welcome back to the Upside Down Art Studio. We are in the art room again today, and I'm going to walk you through a tutorial for your southwestern drawing. We are looking at the landscape of the Southwest United States, so we're talking about the states of New Mexico and Arizona, and we're going to be doing a landscape that includes mesas and the desert. And then we're going to be drawing Kokopelli. Kokopelli is the flute player that we saw in the Native American artwork. And we're going to do something really special with Kokopelli to give him some really cool designs. So you're going to need your paper, pencil, colored pencils, and a black crayon or oil pastel. Either one will work. And then you're also going to need a paper clip or a coin to do something really special at the end. So get your stuff and we'll get started. Okay, so I have my paper here, and today we're using a thicker 9 by 12 paper because we are going to be doing colored pencil and some other layers of different materials on here. So I'm using a little bit of a thicker paper, a little bit bigger today. And we're talking about the Southwest, so we're going to be doing a landscape, and we're going to include some mesas and some really pretty colors. When you look at the desert and you look at the mesas, which is kind of like a mountain, but it's flat on top. And so you've got the plateaus and the mesas, they kind of make this really pretty skyscrape. And so we're going to start to draw those in. And really, you can't mess this up because this is natural, and we're not copying it directly from anything we're looking at. So if I was to draw this, this will work. I'm just going to start a horizon line. So my horizon line is where the sky meets the land. So usually in the middle of my paper, or maybe a little lower, is where I like to do my horizon line. Okay, and I'm trying to make sure that you get this whole paper in here. Scoop that back a little bit. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start a line here, and it doesn't have to even be a straight line because this is the desert, and so they can be wavy lines. And so I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go up, and then I'm just going to kind of start making this up. Some of these are going to go higher. It almost looks like skyscrapers. But this is going to be mesas and plateaus in our desert. Okay, and so if you go out to the desert, and if you've never been to the desert, you're going to want to make sure that you really watch that video that I had on your Google Classroom link, or just if you're a friend watching, Google images of the Southwest, especially Arizona, New Mexico. Sedona, Arizona is gorgeous. I got to go there when I was an art student and teach art out there for a while. And it's just gorgeous. It's so different than any other place. You get to see all these rocks and the weather and the water and the erosion over the years. The water's not there now. There's water, some places at the bottom of a canyon, but it's all dried up now. But the water used to cut through here, and the wind has cut through here. And so you see all these really cool rock formations. And so we're going to focus on that. And all of these rocks, you would see exposed layers of different colors of rocks and sediment that were in there. So we're going to do some really pretty colors in our desert. And also we're going to do really cool, really pretty colors in our background. And we're going to separate warm from cool colors. So on my desert, I'm going to do some warm colors, which are colors that remind me of the sun. So like reds, oranges, yellows, corals, golds, pink. Any kind of red, orange, or yellow is going to work. And then our background, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do cool colors. So cool colors are going to be our purples and greens and blues. So if I was going to lay these out, I'm going to get a nice selection. I don't want to have just one of each if I can find more. So go through your colored pencils and try to find as many as you can. So I've got red, yellow, I've got a coral here. Even this peach would work for my warm colors. Again, think sunshine. So any type of orange, any type of pink, light pink, hot pink, And then for my background, for my sky, we're going to do the cool color. So I've got couple kinds of blues and a couple kinds of greens. I'm going to throw some purple in there. And just go through what you have. This one's a tricky color. This is kind of a magenta or a red violet. Is it warm? Is it cool? It's got red and it's got violet. And it kind of depends on the brand you have. Sometimes it'll look warm, sometimes it'll look cool. I'm going to scratch it on here and let's see what we think. So this one, I'm going to call that a warm color because I think that looks more pink than it does purple. If you had one that looked more purple than pink, purple is cool, so I'd have in the cool. But I'm going to include that in my warm colors. So I've got my warm colors here and my cool colors here. And I'm just going to start to color in my mesas. And this does not have to look super realistic. We just want it to look like the Southwest, and we want it to look pretty. So I'm going to start to outline maybe here, and I'm going to start to color in some red. And if it's streaky, normally I say no streaky colors because we want to have everything nice and smooth, but for this we can do some streaky colors because in real life these mesas would have these, they're called striations or streaks, where they have different layers of the rocks, and so they're these different colors. And so I want that effect when I do this. I want to be able to see different effects on there. And this is just the beginning. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to overlap colors. And that's the cool thing about this, is that you can make changes and make adjustments as you go. So maybe I'll do some reds in here. This is my desert down here. And then I'm going to go in with some other colors. So we'll get started on this. Okay, so I've got my desert here, and again, there's really not a whole lot to this to make it wrong. You can do this however you want. A couple pointers is to make it look a little more 3D. On each side, the same side of each part, I made it a little bit darker so that it looks like the sun is coming over this way, and the sun hits this here, and this is a shadow. Sun hits here, this is a shadow. Sun hits right here, this is a shadow. Sun hits right here, this is a shadow. Sun hits here, this is a shadow. So if you keep that going, it'll look a little more 3D because you're giving it some light and some shadow. I did a little bit lighter down here to make it look like the sand, and a little bit darker up here on the mesas and the plateaus up there. Now I'm going to do my sunset. So I've got all my warm colors down here. I'm going to do my cool colors back here. Okay, so there's my background. You can see I've gone from blue, or from purple to blue, blue violet, blue green, green for my sky. And I use the side of my pencil for this. Using the side of your pencil will color a little faster for you because you're not using the tip, little tiny tip. You can use the side where you've got more color, and you can color that way. It also makes it a little softer. And everywhere on here, I have overlapped colors. There's no place where it's just one color. I've overlapped and mixed. I call it mixing my colors, just like if you're going to stir up paint and mix colors. And here, I color one color on top of another color to mix them. So I have lots of different colors that I make by overlapping. So it's not just the colors that are in my colored pencil box, but I mix my colors to get new colors too. So now I've got my warm colors and my cool colors. Now we're going to draw a Kokopelli. All right, so for Kokopelli, we're going to start, and we're going to draw him nice and big in the sky here. So I'm going to start with a circle for his head, and I would say draw his head about the size of a quarter. Okay. And then on the back of his head, I'm going to put his hair. And so you can decide. You can decide how you want to do his hair. I'm going to do 4 rectangles coming out, I think, for his hair. And then I'm going to have his flute coming down. So I'm going to draw a curved line and another curved line coming out a little bit. And there's his flute. His body is going to be kind of a curved line here, so I'm going to make his body come out like this. Helps to make the sound. And then I'm going to bring this line out too. And it's two curved lines. It's going to get a little fatter at the bottom, and then I'm going to connect that there. There's his body. I'm going to do two little arms coming out. So I'm going to do two lines to make his one arm, and then two lines to make his other arm. And you could make the flute longer if you want. You could give him more here if you want. I think I might give him one more. And then for his legs, I'm going to do a zigzag line coming out here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to close it up. And I've got his leg and his foot. So it's just a zigzag line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and close it up, and then I've got his other little foot. How cute is that? All right, and now we're going to take a colored pencil or a crayon. No, we're going to take a crayon or an oil pastel, and we're going to color him in a black crayon or a black oil pastel. All right, so I'm ready to color in my Kokopelli, and I've got oil pastel. Black crayon works fine too. And I'm just going to outline him and start to color him in. And I want it to be nice and solid. So I'm going to take my time and get a nice solid coat of black on here, which means that I'm not going to see like this. See how I can see holes through that? I don't want it like that. I want it nice and solid. So I'm going to go over it until I don't see any of those little holes inside there like that. All right, so there's my Kokopelli. And now you can take a coin. I would use if you have a dime, it's a little skinnier, a little thinner, sharper. Or you can use a paper clip. I like to use the open end of a paper clip. And what we're going to do, it's kind of like that scratch art paper you buy. We're going to scratch some designs through Kokopelli, and you'll see the colors behind them. It'll just give them a little bit of texture and a little bit of pattern and just a little decoration. You don't have to do a lot. I kind of like them just like this too. But if you want to add a little pizzazz, you can start scratching. All right, and I think that's all I'm going to do. But you can see I just used my paper clip to scratch some patterns on there, just to give them a little more interest, a little texture. I like it. So this is your Kokopelli drawing. This is my Kokopelli drawing. I cannot wait to see your Kokopelli drawings finished when you bring them back to class. All right, guys, see you later.